Frank Farina has given the strongest indication yet that Socceroo Lucas Neill is unlikely to be at Sydney FC next season. The Sky Blues coach has also discussed the disappointing season, the potential hiring of Rado Vidicic and the growing pressure on the Socceroos. Reporter Patrick Stack started by asking him about how he will return Sydney FC to finals football next season.
Well, I think preparation's the key. Recruitment, obviously, as well. You know, we still have, contrary to what, you know, a lot of people may think, our supporters, that we can make wholesale changes. We can't. We still have 19 players under contract. So recruitment's going to be very important for us, and you know, keep within the salary cap, and preparation. I mean, they're the keys for us.
Can you give us an indication of what areas you'll look to cover in terms of bringing players in, defenders, midfielders, strikers?
Well, definitely defenders, centre halves. Of the 19 contracted players, we have two centre halves, and Pascal Boschart's coming back from an injury at the moment, so that's an area we definitely need to strengthen. Obviously, with, as I mentioned, you know, conceding 51 goals, it's an area we really have to improve. But you know, young Terry Antonis may be on the move as well, so look, we'll look at strengthening, you know, midfield and attack if we can. But the priority is our defence at the moment.
Does the club want Lucas Neill in Sky Blue next season?
Yeah, look, it's discussions that I haven't really gone in depth with Lucas, because when he first came it was purely short term, both from his perspective and from the club's. I think, you know, Lucas's focus now is on the World Cup qualification, and I do understand from speaking with him that he does have a couple of irons in the fire overseas. So, you know, at this stage we haven't discussed long-term plans for Lucas here yet.
Just talking about particular coaching structures for next year, there's some suggestions around that perhaps Rado Vidicic could join you. Look,
there's been discussions, I won't lie. There's no point in, you know, saying things that aren't true. We've had discussions with Rado, but nothing's concrete yet or definite. You know, I worked with Rado for over 2.5, almost 3 years in Brisbane, and we have a very good relationship, but there are other people that we've spoken to as well.
Sydney FC have long been renowned as the biggest club in the A-League, yet consistently they struggle, I guess, with the weight of expectation. Is there something that you've noticed now, since your time in the club, that there is a reason for this club that seems to underperform?
The key factor for any successful club is long-term planning, and you know, and building not only from grassroots, but you know, getting everything right. And you know, Sydney have won 2 championships. Sometimes that can disguise, I suppose, little issues that may exist. But look, I think the passion within the club, the owners, the board, it's there.
When you look at little brother down the road, Western Sydney Wanderers, fantastic success in their first year. Is Sydney FC embarrassed by their performance?
No, look, it's a fantastic achievement for Western Sydney, and you know, I said from day one when they talked about expansion, you know, the expansion was done in the wrong place, you know, in Queensland, where you had the 2 biggest markets, you know, Melbourne and Sydney, didn't expand, and we saw what happened there. So, you know, Western Sydney have come into a perfect marketplace in terms of the region there. We've got to admire what they've achieved, but you know, again, they now become the hunted.
Do you have a tip for this weekend, and who do you want to win?
I'm tending to lean towards the Mariners, not because of Western Sydney, but I just think their display against Melbourne Victory was, you know, very professional, outstanding, and I'm tipping them in a close one.
Earlier this year you were coaching in Papua New Guinea. Was there a time where you didn't think you would coach club football again in Australia?
You know, the reality for all coaches in this country is there's 9 teams. You know, we've got New Zealand as well, but they'll most probably always go towards one of their own. So you've got 9 professional jobs in the A-League, and they don't come up too often. So, you know, it wasn't one of those things that I was thinking, oh, I'm never going to get an opportunity again. But, you know, I was very humbled and grateful when this one did come up with Sydney at such a big club.
You've been in charge of the highest post in Australian football, Socceroos coach. The Socceroos are currently under a fair bit of pressure. When you look at their situation, what do you think of the current predicament they find themselves in?
You know, we were blessed with a great generation of players. I think they've commonly been referred to as a golden generation, and you know, there's cycles. Football goes in cycles, but we're in a rebuilding phase. But the expectations from media, from supporters, you know, are still what we saw in 2006, that we want our team to be like it was, that went to the World Cup, and both in 2006 and 10. I think Holger's doing a good job. and they're still right in it to qualify or have a chance to qualify for the World Cup. And at the end of the day, if we qualify for the World Cup, no one will remember anything before that.
You've coached the Socceroos before and you're well aware of the pressure that comes with that. The Socceroos find themselves in a similar position now. What advice would you give to the players and coach?
Well, look, don't listen to everything and believe everything that's being said outside of the football. Believe in what you're doing, believe in what you want to achieve, and believe in the manager. And I think they do.